ongoing very important story, which is irregularities at Axis Mutual Fund. Utkarsh is joining us. But Utkarsh, before I ask you a question, I must tell you that source-based information is now coming in that SEBI has taken note of the matter and is looking into all this entire issue, the internal probe, the sudden and unceremonious departure of some of the fund managers. Tell us what else do you gather?
Exactly, Ajay. In fact, what our source is that SEBI has confirmed us is that SEBI is looking at the transactions of both the fund managers, and what I've been told, very important, is not in the past, but the last 4 or 5 years of transactions of the fund managers are also under the radar of SEBI. Then what SEBI is also looking at is the connections. What SEBI needs to know is that was this as an individual, both the fund managers have accusations of insider trading, or there were more people in. SEBI is obviously looking at the probe. They're not yet confident to call it an investigation. When we asked that, can we call it an investigation, they said that we're looking into it at this point of time. Not a formal investigation has been opened, but SEBI has the eye on the matter at this point of time, which our sources have confirmed.
Right. I must tell you, Utkarsh, this is great input. SEBI, you have managed to get what exactly is SEBI doing on this. And the last line, will take appropriate action if any foul play found in the investigation. So very thorough investigation is going on this matter. All right, Utkarsh, thanks very much for that, bringing that story. This is a very... Right. Let's understand. Utkarsh, are you still there hanging around? I just have a quick question. By when do you see reaction coming in from Axis Mutual Fund? Because up till now, we have probed, sent a lot of queries. There is absolute radio silence from that side. Have you managed to gather anything? What's happening inside the mutual fund?
Ajay, what we've been told by, again, our sources, as you said exactly, that Axis Mutual Fund hasn't really gotten back to us on a formal comment on the same. We have sent multiple queries, but what we have been told inside is that there is an internal probe is also on. Axis Mutual Fund is looking and both the fund managers' accounts internally as well. And there is also a possibility that Axis is now looking at, is it only 2 or we can see more. So internally also what our sources tell us is that Axis Mutual Fund has started their internal investigation, internal probe in this matter. By when can they really give it a comment is something which we are also waiting. We have sent multiple queries to them, but yet no answer.
Stay on with us. We are trying to get some senior people from the industry to analyze this matter a little more, because this entire issue of irregularities, be it insider trading, these allegations, wrong processes being adopted while buying small cap, mid cap stocks, all of that. We need to analyze the situation and also tell us what the authorities are doing. So we'll get some top guys on the phone. This is the big story developing right now, hitting the the already fragile sentiment of the market, and that is irregularities at Axis Mutual Fund. We gather from sources, SEBI sources now, that SEBI is looking into the matter and has started a thorough investigation of this. Mr. H.P. Ranina, a very senior voice in the financial markets and from the lawyer fraternity, is joining us now. Mr. Ranina, what do you make of these irregularities which have erupted at one of the otherwise quite respected mutual fund names, which is Axis Mutual Fund? How have you read the details so far which have come out in the open?
No, unfortunately, I'm not aware of the details. But let me just speak generally that in case there are any irregularities, obviously SEBI will take a very harsh look at it and levy whatever is to be penalties and whatever other consequences that follow under the law. So it's a matter of investigation and details. I'm sure the mutual fund house has its own explanation for whatever has happened. So we have to see. I think the inquiry will now start from the regulator, and once the inquiry is completed, then the consequences will follow, depending.
In a quick follow-up, I will furnish you some of the details that 2 senior fund managers have been sent on indefinite leave, and there were charges of front-running, there were charges of wrong processes being followed while buying small cap, mid cap kind of names in the various schemes, 7 schemes to be particular, and disproportionate ownership of some of the assets, all of this glaring thing which came out, and hence the mutual fund started this inquiry, and now SEBI also stepped in. So this is also hitting fragile investor sentiment.
You're right, but you must understand one thing, that perhaps you can't blame the mutual fund as an institution. After all, any institution has to rely on its senior employees, and they have to trust their senior employees. And if senior employees misbehave or do something which is contrary to the rules of the game or contrary to the SEBI regulations and other fund regulations, then obviously the employees have to be taken to task and they have to be exposed. But to blame the fund as an institution may not be appropriate, because, as I said, every fund, every institution has to rely on its senior employees. And if employees do something wrong, then only those employees should be held responsible. So I'm glad that they have suspended those employees, that they have lodged the inquiries, and now SEBI is also going to step in and do its own independent inquiry as to the misdemeanor activities which has been done by the 2 employees, senior executives. So let it be brought to its conclusion that they should go behind bars. If they have been found to be guilty, then I think the highest punishment should be given to them, so that the investors have confidence in these mutual fund institutions. Because, as I again repeat, you can't help it. You have to rely on your senior executives.
No, fair point, Mr. Ranina. And these are respectable institutions and have operated fairly for long. And few bad apples doesn't mean that the entire industry need to be put to task. But of course, individuals and processes will be done in that direction. Thanks, Mr. Ranina.